Hello, good to see you all. Thank you all for joining me again on yet another episode of Finding Out with Special Needs. I am particularly excited about today's episode and I want to welcome everyone. Today's topic is what parents and educators need to know about applied behavior behavior analysis ABA. So what parents and educators, and when I say educators, I also mean other service providers who provide support for children with disability or children with special needs. So today is an holistic one, and then we're going to have the experts talk to us. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, I believe we're going to have a great time on episode 29 of Finding Out with Special Needs. And I still remain Lola Aneke. The name never changes. It's not going to change. So I am so thankful that you're here with me this evening, and I'm really excited. You know, when we talk about ABA, and I remember I put out a quote and a definition of ABA when I put out the flyer for last week, and I think I'll quickly read that. And most times when we talk about ABA, we have different people have different meaning to it. You know, they have different perspective of what ABA should be. But what I want to read right now was what I posted when I talked about our topic for today on Friday. Applied behavior analysis ABA is a science in which tactics derived from principles of behavior are applied to improve socially significant behavior, and experimentation is used to identify the variables responsible for the improvement in behavior. And that's what Cooper, Heron, and Hewitt 2014 defined applied behavior analysis to be. So we're talking about applied behavior analysis. We have, I call her Queen Bee. She's going to come up and talk about herself. I call her Queen Bee. And if you have been following, for you to be on Finding Out with Special Needs this evening, I'm sure you know who we're bringing in. So I'm not going to do any quiz. And I'm sure you were wowed by their bios. They are the best we can bring on right now. Now, it will be my great honor, my pleasure. I'm really excited to bring in Queen Bee. And here she is. Hello, Queen Bee.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, good to have you. I didn't do much introduction, but I've told people who you are, and I'm sure they've seen your bio on our social media platforms. I would want you to please introduce yourself to us.
Okay, so I know Lola calls me Queen Bee, but that's how she knows me. My name is Bahijah Sheibanee, and I'm a BCBA here in United States of America. Currently living in New Jersey, but I was born, bred in Ghana, so I'm a Ghanaian as well. I actually stumbled upon this field accidentally. I didn't know anything about ABA when I first started my course. So it's been a ride, an awesome ride, you know, ups and downs and all of that, but it's been a good one at the end of it. I went in to do my master's program, and you know, I was introduced to ABA, and it really tickled my fancy because I have never seen or heard about it. So when I read about it, I was a bit curious, and I realized that there was, at that time when I started, there was no single person who is a BCBA in Ghana. Now, in all the millions of people we have in Ghana, we have one single person who is in Ghana practicing. So that is not enough. For me, I was like, she can't serve all the individuals with disabilities or anybody who needs the help. She was the only, I mean, she still is the only person. And it's my dream to go back very soon to also help in as much as I can.
Great.
The more reason why I was even curious to start this course or this journey was I realized that a lot of Ghanaian communities, even here in the United States, I have come across people who had kids with autism, but I didn't really know much about it because it's a hush topic. Nobody wants to talk about it, right? And if we don't give the help, if we don't talk about it and get the help that we need, I don't think the kids we're doing justice to the kids or the individual. So I was like, okay, this is something I really want to do. And if I can help my friends or family members or whoever needs this help or these services, that'll be great. So this is how, and I love doing what I'm doing. And this is just the journey and how I got into ABA.
And thank you for letting us know what you do. More like, thank you for being vulnerable with us. Like, telling us about who you are and what you do. Because one of the things we do, the main reason we have Finding Up with Special Needs is to put out information there. We understand that the way things are done in developed countries is quite different from how things are done in developing countries. And I always say that there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing you want to reinvent. You can only more like, you might just modify and try to make it work for you. I don't know if you get what I mean. So there's nothing new under the sun. We can just modify and make it work to suit you. Now, we know, I just read out the definition of what ABA is, but that's from the book. And I don't want us to do that. Finding Up with Special Needs simply means that anything that has to do with disability in any field, learning disability, specific learning disability, autism, Down syndrome, ADHD, whatever it is, you can find help. And that's why we bring professionals to come speak with us so that we can learn. And like I said earlier on, it might not be whatever is obtainable in your part of the world, might not be what is obtainable in our part of the world, but there's always an alignment. There's always like the benchmark, there's a baseline where we can now begin to modify and tweak due to cultural difference and other factors. Now, Queen B, I would want you to explain what ABA is and what it's. So for example, let me just make it simple for you. What is ABA in your own words, in your own experience? You're a BCBA, you're a board certified behavior analyst. What is ABA? Please don't tell us the book, tell us the reality of ABA.
Okay. All right. So ABA simply is what? A science that is focused on teaching and improving behaviors or life skills. That is the simplest I can give. It's just improve someone's life skills. ABA is, I know a lot of people think ABA practitioners kind of change people. We don't change the human being. We change their life they're living, which we improve the life they live in and improve their life skills. So ABA can be used in different forms. We can use it to teach someone's communication skills, someone's social skills. We can use it in organizational behavior management. We can use ABA in forensics. We can use ABA in typical schools. ABA is wide. So it's not just for disability or intellectual disabilities. ABA is done everywhere and every day in our lives. It's just that we don't know what we are doing and how it's called.
Great. Thank you for that. Everywhere we can see ABA in every area of our life, and it can be in any field of study because we use it in HR, in medicine, in education. You see it all around. Thank you for that. Now, I want you to explain to us something which I know, but I wanted us to look into that because in this part of the world, a lot of people really believe that they need to be experienced, which is one of the one skill. If you're working with children with special needs, experience gives you leverage, and also your certification matters also. Okay, and a lot of people have questions. Oh, I know that because I remember when at some point I was considering BCBA. So I'll talk about myself real quick now, and I'll bring the question to you to help you explain the best way to go about responding to this question. So I am a special needs educator. I was trained in the US. And for a whole semester, we had a training on behavior management, and we're taught by a BCBA. So when the BCBA trains you, which means they're going to be checking on your practice and all of that. And for me to get my certification done, I needed to work in schools, and I needed the BCBA to come observe what I was doing. And it costs a crowd because special education is not just about behavior. It's part of behavior management, but different other things I was supervised on before I was referred for my praxis, which is my certification, okay, to be called a certified special needs educator. Now, the fact that a BCBA taught me on behavior management gives me that leverage to be able to apply the principle of ABA in my setting as an educator. Okay. Now, for individuals who are thinking, oh my God, BCBA is the way to go. If I'm not a BCBA, or I'm not an RBT, or I'm not, or okay, that's one. If I'm not that, will I be able to apply the principle of ABA? That's one. If I'm going to be able to apply it, what would I need to be able to apply the principle? That's one. I just said my own story. Secondly, if I wanted to get trained in ABA and I wanted to be probably an RBT, no, let's talk about BC, because I want to be a BCBA. When I get into school, into the colleges, do I just go to study ABA and I tell them I want to study ABA and I want to work with children with disability? Or, for example, like I said, when I was speaking to you earlier on, as a GP, I'm studying medicine, I'm a general practitioner. So I'm assuming that. But if I wanted to now say, okay, this is what I want to do, how do I go about it? I don't know if you get my question. Knowing that ABA can be applied in forensic, it can be applied in criminology, it can be applied in medicine, can be applied in education, can be applied in different ways. What would you advise in two ways? One, if I have not gotten any form of training at all, and I wanted to apply the principle of ABA, what would you advise? And if I was going to go in back now to school to study, to get a BCBA done, what would you advise? Because I know you've gone through that route.
Okay, so the first question, if you're not an RBT, you're not a BCBA, but let's say you are a teacher and you need to use the principles of ABA, you need to be trained on how to apply these principles. It doesn't come easy just because you've seen somebody doing it and then you think, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. No. First of all, you need to get trained by a qualified and certified BCBA for some time. And if you want to use that in your classroom, by all means, that's great, because we need to teach teachers, firefighters, all these how to actually use or implement ABA around us. So it's good that someone who is not into the actual practice of ABA wants to learn about it. Kudos, that's great. But make sure you're trained and overseen by a BCBA. And then you know that you can actually now be able to apply it in the field that you are in. Don't call yourself a behavior analyst just because you were trained under a BCBA. You're not. You're just using the principles of ABA in your field. Do not call yourself an RBT either. You're not. Just say, I'm using the principles of ABA in my field, and you're good. Second, if you want to go to school and become whatever you want to become using ABA, I did my master's in applied psychology with a concentration in ABA. So that gives me a lot of flexibility. Just like somebody who will go into special education with concentration in ABA. Mm-hmm. So we have different things that you can do, but you have to do some sort of concentration in ABA to be able, or that will lead you into getting the certification, writing the exams to get the certification. So you get what? You get your master's in whatever you're doing with ABA in it. Make sure that you have all the ABA requirements before.
Correct.
Correct. Yes. And I totally appreciate that, because like I keep saying, find out with passionate is to point people in the right direction. Parents, educators, related service providers, physical therapists, or whatever field, as long as you're in the field of special education. Now, I also remember that at some point I was thinking of dabbling into BCBA, and I remembered reaching out, and one of the things they said to me was, since you've done a training, you did a semester in behavior management and you were taught by BCBA, we'll convert those credit hours, and then they told me a few more courses I'll take to become a BCBA. But I just felt what I had was enough for what I wanted to do. Okay, so for anyone out there who's thinking, oh, I want to be, what you need to do, it's okay if you have a BCBA who can teach you on the principles of ABA. But don't say to anyone you're an RBT, even if you're still in trading. Please, let's be professional enough. Let's have this integrity to say, look, I am in training, okay, but I am applying the principle of ABA. Don't go about saying I'm a BCBA or I'm a BCA, BC, or a BCBD. If you are into ABA, you know all of these things I'm talking about. So it's okay to say you're applying the principles of ABA, okay? The principle is different from the certification, okay? And then back to you. And then also, if you wanted to study BCBA, and that's what brings me to the question.
Yeah.
Your first degree was in Ghana, right?
Yeah, it was in Ghana. And
Thank you. You might be the best person to answer this question. Now, Queen B, back to you. What did you do? You were in Ghana. So I know we have quite a lot of audience, particularly in Nigeria and Ghana around us. And you are more like you're with us. You're our person. Forget the fact that you're living in New Jersey. You're an African. I know how things work here. What did you do? What did you do, and how did you get yourself to be admitted or to get onto the program?
Okay. All right. So I had a lot of steps that I had to go through. First of all, my education was in Ghana. So they had to verify and make sure that my transcript was genuine. Right? So I sent my sealed and signed transcripts to the Western Education, something like that, and how
education services, yeah.
So they have to actually go through it and make sure that it's authentic and it's good enough for the education here. So they went through it, evaluated it, and then sent it to the school and sent me a copy. So once the school got it, then they gave me a thumb up, right? That okay, I'm good to go. Good to go. Then now I have to do the other requirements that I needed. So I needed to write a personal letter why I want to do this this course and what is the interest, how did I get it, how did I hear about it, all the good things about ABA. So you do that, and then if the panel read your essay or your work and they think that, oh, okay, this is impressive, now then they call you again for an interview. So it's a lot of steps. They call you for an interview, and then they interview you, and then they see who you are, where you're coming from, why you're getting into it, what is the interest, do you understand what this is about, do you know what you're getting yourself into, right? So after that, they look at all the people they have actually interviewed and pick and choose who they want to get into the program. So that's how I got into this. It wasn't just me coming in and taking some few courses here and there and then jumping in. No. And then once I got in, you have a question?
Yeah. So you were able to do your BCBA because you already had BSc. Am I right?
No, I was able to be a BCBA because I went into the master's program. You can't be a BCBA without a master's program.
Master's first. In applied behavior analysis, yes. Right? Thank you. I needed to clarify that.
Yeah. So you actually have
supervision. Excuse me.
Once you get into it, you have to have a supervision hours.
Yeah.
Someone who is a BCBA or a BCBAD to supervise you, and you have to have either 1,500 or 2,000 hours of supervision. So if you're doing really a good job of doing like 40 hours a week, then you're sure to be able to get, within a year, a little bit over a year to get that hours. If you're doing part-time, it's going to take you longer than that. Mm-hmm. You need to do it. Some clinics would do it for a pay cut. That is, they won't pay you a lot of money, but because they're supervising you. Some people will have to make you pay them for supervising you.
Correct.
So it's a lot of So at that point, you're just sacrificing your time, and the money you're supposed to be making is sacrifice.
Great, and I like that we're making this very plain because I believe a lot of people want this information, and they're wondering how do I get this done, and why I'm particularly focusing some of the questions on Queen B Bahijah is because we have a lot of Africans watching. She took it from Africa. She took her exams. I mean, sent a transcript to West, and it was evaluated and all of that, so that anybody thinking of doing that. And one of the good things about this is that, Queen B, I didn't ask you, but is it okay for people to reach out to you if they needed more information on how to go about this?
Definitely. We need more people in this.
Yeah.
We need
and I'm going to go there. Now, for those individuals who, for some reason, they don't have master's degree, and they still want to do they want to do ABA, and I know that's where RBT comes in and all of that. How? So someone like you, and these are two questions. How do they go about that? Can they contact you and say, look, I want to do this? Because I know that they need supervision. Is that all they need? And what is it going to look like if they want? Because you are not in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And you're not in Ghana, even if you're Ghanaian.
Yeah.
You're in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Is this something that they can easily say, oh, Miss Queen B, we saw you on Final with Special Needs, and from what you said to us that if you don't have a master's degree, we can be supervised by a BCBA. Can you do this? Is it something that is doable, even with them not being physically present with you?
Okay. So before I can supervise anybody to be a BT or RBT, which is registered behavior technician, you need to be working with an individual with disability.
Good.
So you are working with that individual, and I will be able to supervise you. Now, thank goodness, we have telehealth. So wherever you are in this world, you can use telehealth as long as you both have a good network going on. I can supervise wherever in this world, right? But you need to be working with someone that I can supervise you. If you're not working with anybody in the field or working with individual with disability, I can supervise you. Then where are you implementing? What are you using? Your skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great. Great. That's a great information that we needed to know. Okay, because a lot of people are thinking, oh, I might not be able to travel to you in New Jersey. I'm just using you as an example, but any BCBA can actually supervise anyone who is working with children with disability, and then they can now become RBTs or BCA, BC, right?
Yeah. So with the RBT, you need about 40 hours of training. We have a coursework that you have to actually do that. So it's 40 hours coursework, and then you need a BCBA.
Because sometimes it's the supervision that is a problem for a lot of people. Right. So we are saying that you can actually reach out to Queen B or Bahijah. Reach out to her, and of course she can also introduce other people that she knows that they can actually supervise you. And I know that you mentioned that sometimes some people make you pay, some people don't make. I hope if they're coming from us and they mention Lola Aneke or they mention C.A.D.E.T Academy, you would be nice enough not to ask for an arm or a leg, please. I hope you can do that for us.
Oh, we can give it for some sort of cut. But
yeah, it's something like you can do, because the truth is that we need a lot of people to do more things, and we want them to be more professional, and we don't want to make it like a child's play. At the same time, we want, because you and I know that we don't have enough professionals in this field, and we need more people. So whatever we can to make things easier for them, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so just you saying that we need more people. Yeah, and as much as we do need more people, we still want to be very cautious about who does what, because the first thing about this is do no harm.
Yes,
this
absolutely.
Already has bad and negative talks about ABA because of how other people are implementing it. Okay, they're not well equipped, and they're just doing some sort of, I don't even want to call it behavior modification. I don't know what it is, but they end up calling it ABA, and they're giving it a bad name.
Correct.
So you need to be able to be compassionate, to be empathetic, to be patient, to be loving, to have this kind of skills, and then work with people with disability. We don't want people forcefully restraining people, calling it, oh, I'm missing ABA principles. No. We can stop a bad behavior or problem behavior happening without even restraints. So we need to be really careful. We want more people to be BCBAs in Africa, but we still want to control it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now back to you. Thank you so much, Queen B. Thank you.